This is a special presentation of WAAY 31 Sports.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night. Hello, Alabama, find a comfortable spot. We got high school football and it's coming out hot. Now here we are and the lights are shining bright. We've always been. Yeah, WAAY 31 is rocking all right. With Nolan, Lyndon, Max, and Antonio. It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
Weeks of preparations, 2-a-days in the hot summer sun, battles throughout the year. It all led to this moment, win or go home. It's the 2021 Alabama High School Football Playoffs. Welcome into Big Game Friday night, everyone. I'm Nolan Knight, joined here by Max Cohan. And Max, it's all come down to tonight.
That's right. The playoffs are here and across North Alabama. Some of the best teams in the state faced off. Everyone's quest for a state title began tonight.
Yeah, we really did have some awesome matchups, like our Big Game Friday night game of the week, where the undefeated Hartselle Tigers faced off against Gardendale in a 6-day showdown. Our Xavier Weary has more from Morgan County.
When the playoffs arrive, you know what you're in for. Play intensifies, the crowd is louder, and the stakes are higher. And this playoff game did not disappoint. In Hartselle, where the Tigers put their undefeated season on the line against the Gardendale Rockets in this playoff matchup. We picked this one up in the first quarter. Tyler Nelson takes the snap, roams left, makes two Tiger defenders miss, and he eases his way into the end zone for the early 7-0 Gardendale lead. And then just a few possessions later, Nelson hands it off to LT Sanders, who finds some room on the right side, and it's off to the races as he outruns the entire Hartselle defense and has a reservation for 6. Gardendale up 14-0. However, the Tigers would respond. Check out John Blackwood, who takes the snap, and on this QB design run, he's going to find the hole, disregard one Rockets defender, cut it upfield, and make his way in the end zone on a 45-yard run for the score. Gardendale up 14-7. But the first half belonged to the Rockets. Nelson, on his design QB run, takes it left, breaks a tackle, and finds the end zone for the second time in the first half for a 21-7 lead. As the first half winds down, Gardendale looking for some last-second magic, but Nelson's throw is picked off by Walker Hoyle as Gardendale takes a 21-7 lead into halftime. In Hartselle, as the Gardendale Rockets just defeated the Hartselle Tigers 28-35, I'm with head coach Chad Eads. Coach, what worked so well for you all tonight?
Well, our run game, that's what we went into the game expecting to do. That's what we're best at, and so we put it on our O-line to in our back, LT Sanders, to go and win the game, and that's what we had to do. And then they were moving the ball all night, and our defense was struggling a little bit, but then made some plays there at the end. We've been improving since the middle of the year, and we'll keep doing that. And then going into somebody else's place again, and we got to win a bunch of games on the road to keep going.
I know it's just one, but what does this type of win mean for you all?
Well, it's exciting for our kids, our seniors. It's a great class. They've grown up, gone to elementary school together all the way through, and it's a close-knit group, and they win for each other. We're playing for Gardendale, but they win for each other.
And that'll do it in Hartselle as the final score is 35-28 as the Gardendale Rockets defeated the Tigers. For McCurry Big Game Friday night, I'm Xavier Weary, WAAY 31 Sports.
So Gardendale moves on to the next round, but who will they face? That's what our next matchup decides.
Yeah, that's right. Homewood, the 3 seed on the road, taking on ARAB tonight. The winner gets their shot at the Rockets. We pick up in the first. Homewood with the ball, and Walter Ray will get something going. He finds Jackson Paris at the 10, and he brings it down inside the 5. Then on the next play, Homewood would take an early lead. Walter Ray hands it off to Mondrell Odell. Touchdown Patriots 6-0. And then ARAB, they try to get something going. Ed Johnson, pitch out to Hayden O'Reilly. He's down the sideline, and it looks like he's going to get in for a score. But no, they say he stepped out at the 18. But it wouldn't take long for the Knights to find that end zone. Ed Johnson this time finding John Johnson over the middle. He fights his way in for the score. ARAB on the board. It was back and forth tonight, but it's the Patriots who take it 42-14. In that same quadrant, Decatur falls in the first round to undefeated Clay Chalkville, while Fort Payne and Briarwood battled for a shot to take on Clay Chalkville in that second round, and it's the Lions who move on with the 35-12 victory. So here's a look at the matchups for next week. Gardendale will meet up against Homewood after the upset, and Clay Chalkville will take on Briarwood.
Let's stay with 6A. Muscle Shoals is a 2 seed in the North region. The Trojans at home tonight taking on the third-seeded Pinson Valley. So let's pick that one up. Pinson Valley with the ball. Zach Pyron looking to throw. He finds Mike Sharp, and he's got a Pinson Valley first down. Then on the next play, Pyron rolls to his right and dumps it off for Reed, and he brings it down inside the 10. On the same drive, you know it, it's going to be Pyron again. He's going to keep it. But Muscle Shoals' Kamani Goodlow comes up with the sack for the Trojans, but it wouldn't discourage Pinson Valley. Pyron to Amari Thomas for a Pinson Valley score. Muscle Shoals would try to respond. Brooks Berry with the big pickup. This game back and forth all night. In the end, the Trojans drop a close one, 28-21, the final. Some of the best teams in the state were squaring off tonight in the 7A playoffs.
Yeah, that's right. Max Hewitt Trustville has only lost to nationally ranked Thompson and Hoover, and they were supposed to be in action at Madison City Stadium tonight against Bob Jones, but a wrench would get thrown into those plans as one set of lights at Madison City Stadium would never turn on, and after hours of waiting, it was decided that the game would be moved over to Milton Frank Stadium in Huntsville, and they just kicked off less than an hour ago, maybe a little over an hour. Right now, it's the Huskies who are leading the Patriots 28-7 at the half.
Speaking of those nationally ranked teams, Sparkman and Florence, both with some of the toughest first-round matchups in the country tonight. They both fall in the first round, 49-10 and 56-14, the final in those.
Well, last night, the undefeated James Clement Jets, they found themselves taking on Oak Mountain, a team that was 6-4, but 3 of those losses were either to undefeated teams or, as we all know, the nationally ranked Thompson. So I think it's safe to say that they're probably pretty good. And Oak Mountain would jump out to a 21-0 lead in this game, but give credit where it's due. James Clemens scored 20 unanswered points last night thanks to quarterback Gio Lopez and running back Dante Snodgrass. And they would fall on a last-second field goal to Oak Mountain. Their perfect 10-0 season comes to an end after a 38-35 loss at home.
So let's move our attention to the 5A playoffs and head to East Limestone. The Indians hosting Center Point tonight, and it was an atmosphere that was everything you could want from a high school playoff game. So let's jump out to Athens, where the Indians trail 27 at the start of the second. Down big, East Limestone decides to go for it on 4th down, and it does not go well. Jake Cochran is slammed down on the scramble, and his helmet pops off as the Eagles take over. Now with ball in hand, they get moving. Troy Bruce Jr. making people move left and right as the Eagles soar downfield. So they have the hot hand, and they stick with it. Bruce again. This time he finds Pater. The Indians add some extra contact, but it doesn't matter. Center Point advances with the 66-36 win. Out in Guntersville, the Wildcats have made the playoffs every year since 2013, looking to advance for the second round for the 3rd straight season. Knotted at 14, Cameron Keenan drops back and hits Jamarcus Jones. He can't spin his way free, but it's enough for a Rams first down. Then Keenan wants to go deep. A swat is going to miss, and Washington hauls this one in to give Ramsey a 7-point lead. But the Rams never took their foot off the gas, shipping scores by ground and air as the Rams hand Guntersville a first-round loss for the first time in 3 seasons. The Rams advance to the next round of the playoffs, 28-20, the final in this one. So here's a look at how 5A Quadrant 3 is shaping up. It will be the Ramsey Rams and the Center Point Eagles battling it out next week. On the other side, it will be Pleasant Grove taking on Leeds.
Sticking in that 5A bracket, let's turn our attention to another top-seeded team, Russellville, in action at home tonight against Lincoln. The Golden Tigers, they get a big win in that one, 41-14, while Fairview took the field against Fairfield in a fair matchup. And it's the Aggies that get the win and will take on a Russellville in next week's round 2. Looking at some more 5A matchups, Ardmore hit the road tonight, falling to a top-seeded Alexandria team, while Boaz was on the road at Parker tonight in a close battle. It's the Thundering Herd who come out on top with a 31-21 victory. So that's Class 7, 6, and 5A, but coming up, we go through the rest.
Yeah, we've just scratched the surface of tonight's action, but don't go anywhere. Coming up, Antonio joins us to break down some more games.
That's right. Plenty of more fun to get into, including a battle at Madison Academy tonight. I think you'll have an easier time tackling an actual Mustang instead of Will Stokes. I'll show you next.
Stay tuned for more big game Friday night. Go Raiders!
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
You're watching Big Game Friday night with the Warriors!
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
Welcome Welcome back into Big Game Friday night, everyone. Round one of the high school playoffs kicked off tonight.
Yeah, and there were plenty of great matchups across North Alabama, including a showdown between top-seeded Madison Academy and Hamilton. So let's head out to Madison Academy. Normally, it's the Mustangs' offense that lights it up, but what a first half the defense had. Kanan Hamlet coming up with the big tackle, which sets up the offense for this next play. Who else but Will Stokes? He's got a seam. He's in for 6. Madison Academy out in front early 7-0. But Hamilton would try to get something going. Matthew Coleman finding Brett Coleman. He makes one miss and picks up the first down. But the Aggies' drive would stall. They would be forced to punt, and the Mustangs respond with the 99-yard drive spearheaded by that man right there. Will Stokes puts him on skates and takes off. Nothing but cool Madison County air in front of them. Touchdown Mustangs. They advance after a 55-0 beatdown over Hamilton. So there you have it. Madison Academy Mustangs, they have won their last 10. They look red hot.
There have been some really good Madison Academy teams over the past years. Antonio, do you think this team has what it takes to join them?
I mean, absolutely. You think of Madison Academy, you think of some of the former players that they've had, Carryon Johnson, Jordan Matthews. It's not like they don't have guys like that here. You're talking about a Will Stokes that you've seen. You're talking about Deuce on defense who does everything. He's all over the field on that side of the ball. You see all these great numbers from Madison Academy, but one number matters the most for a couple reasons. That's the number 4. They're looking to get their 4th state title, their first since 2014, and it would be their first in 4A. They have the guys to get that done for sure.
All right, thanks, Antonio. We'll see just how far this Madison Academy team can go very soon.
All right, let's head out to Brooks as an undefeated Lions team welcomed Dora to the Shoals. And Dora would get things going immediately. The Lions kick to Colby Walker and immediately regret it as Walker goes for a nice jog. But much like I would, he loses steam at the end and takes this one all the way down to the 1 for Dora. You figure if you've gone that far, you might as well get in, right? Well, they would be rewarded with a stuffing score on the very next play. A lot of pushing on this one, but it results in a Bulldog touchdown. But here come the Lions. A quick pass from Mertz is good for a first down, and then you know the drill on this one. It's going to be Mertz again. He does what he does. It's a keeper, and this one powers him into the end zone as the undefeated Brooks Lions win another, moving to 11-0 after a 42-21 victory.
Dora's got a great football team. Coach Williams and staff do a great job. Felt like our kids played. We got so many things to work on to be as good as we can be, and that's what we got to focus on. We got to focus on ourselves. Got to clean a lot of things up. If we'll do that, I think we got a really good shot to be a really good football team. Got to be able to control ourselves, though. That's the thing. When it gets physical like that, emotions rise, and we got to do a better job at that for sure.
Staying in Class 4A, we head to Randolph for the 9-1 Raiders. They were hosting their first playoff game in school history. The Raiders taking on Fayette County tonight at home, and the atmosphere was just electric out there. Some awesome school spirit, and the Raiders looked dominant tonight, up big thanks to that defense. Graham Beatty getting in the backfield on that one for the big quarterback sack, but Fayette County would try to get something going. Blake Johnson back to pass. He finds Kendrick Moore in the flat. It's a nice move there, makes one miss to move the chains, but Randolph, they just simply looked like the better team tonight. They went into halftime up 28-0, and in the end, they get the win to advance to the next round, 38-0 over the Tigers. So here's a look at one side of the 4A bracket. In Quadrant 4, Brooks will take on Randolph next week, while Gordo has a big-time matchup next week as well after they punch their ticket to the second round. In Quadrant 3, it will be the Mustangs taking on the Bulldogs, while the Northside Rams will look to prove why they were a top seed taking on the Good Hope Raiders. Both of those teams escaped with narrow victories tonight.
So we move to 3A, and when you think of 3A football in Alabama, you think of one team, the Fife Red Devils, the top seed at home tonight, hosting Wellborn. So let's head out to Fife, the defending state champions, looking to continue their playoff win streak. And this was a touchdown fest. First quarter, Fife takes the first lead as Brody Hicks dives into the end zone, and the Red Devils take the early lead. That's not their only goal line score of the night. This time, it's Kyle Dukes with a nice sidestep, and he's in. Fife up 2 scores. But what was really impressive was that Red Devil defense. They swarmed the Wellborn quarterback, and the big sack would set up some more offense. It's going to be Kyle Dukes again. This time, he's going to break it for a long one. He's coming right at you inside the red zone for Fife, and they would reward him for the big run. This time, he's in the Wildcat, and guess what? It's another score. Fife cruises to a victory at home, 34-0. So next week, it'll be the Fife Red Devils looking to avoid elimination against the Bobcats. And how about a battle of the Wildcats with Sacs taking on Oakman?
Another impressive team in 3A this year has been Lauderdale County. The Tigers in action tonight as the 1 seed, hosting Vinemont at home. Lauderdale County quarterback Eric Fuqua Jr., he drops back to pass. No one is open, so he keeps it and picks up a big first down for the Tigers. Then later, in the same drive, they're in the red zone this time, and again, it's Eric Fuqua, there it is, keeps it again. He takes it to the house to put the Tigers up 7-0. Vinemont with the ball later on. Quarterback Colby Miller trying to get something going. He's going to pick up a couple of yards, but a pack of Tigers there to bring him down. The drive would continue, but in the end, it's Lauderdale County who takes this one 28-6. So next week, it'll be the Tigers taking on the Piedmont Bulldogs in the 3A Quadrant 4 semifinals. The winner of that game will take on the winner of Winfield and Ohatchee. All right, well, that wraps up Class 7 through 3, but stay where you're at because when we return, we talk Class 1 and Class 2 coming up right here on Big Game Friday night.
That's right, Nolan. The defending state champs in Mars Hill back in action in the playoffs tonight. You don't want to miss it.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday night. Let's go, Red! Let's go!
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
You're watching Big Game Friday night on WAAY 31.
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
Welcome back into Big Game Friday night, everyone. Let's turn our attention now down to 2A.
The defending state champions in action tonight, hosting San Rock in their first playoff game of the year. Mars Hill Panthers have a lot to cheer about. They're up 13-0, but the Wildcats are going for it right here. Logan Sider on that catch. It's good enough for a first down, but then they try to go to the end zone, and it's intercepted by Damian Thompson. He shakes and bakes his way into the end zone, but guess what? Flags are going to call it back. The interception stands, though, so Mars Hill ball. Griffin Hansen hands it off to Jay Dobbs, and boy, is he fast. Look at that fancy footwork juking the Wildcats defense for a big gain. And then on the same drive, it's another Hansen handoff, and Damian Thompson glides into the end zone for a Mars Hill touchdown. In the end, the Panthers walk away with a dominant 48-13 win. Out at Tanner, the Rattlers looking for the first playoff win since 2016. They host Lamar County. And just seconds into the game, Tanner is rolling. Alex Guster, the defense buster, at it again, taking the direct snap directly into the end zone for a Rattler touchdown. TD, it can stand for two things, touchdown or technical difficulties. Both apply on this play as Mason Colburn goes in untouched, and the Trojans even the score at 7. Tanner would put together another nice drive, but run into trouble when Carl Parham tries to run away from a defender, fumbling in the process. Lamar County would recover, but lose this one 35-27. Here's a look at our other 2A schools that were in action tonight. Hatton hit the road to take on top-seeded Spring Garden, falling 35-6, while Eider was on the road taking on Aliceville, falling 46-6.
So that's how 2A Quadrant 4 looks. What about Quadrant 3? It will be Sullivan taking on Southeastern after both pulled off upsets tonight, and it'll be Midfield taking on Cleveland in the other matchup. All right, well, let's wrap up things now, but single A. Not normally a big class for us here in North Alabama, but we had a couple of teams hosting home games tonight. R.A. Hubbard hosted Meek tonight, hoping to extend their season, but the Tigers would crush the Chiefs' hope of going to the second round. They fall 52-20. While at Decatur Heritage tonight, the top-seeded Eagles, they were hoping to build on a 7-game winning streak against Marion County, and they do just that with a 48-28 win. While at Valleyhead, the Tigers, they were hosting Raglan, but the Purple Devils would pick up the road win 28-14. All right, well, it's already time for us to use our third and final timeout.
But don't go anywhere. Coming up, we'll leave you with our big game Friday night top lights.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday night on WAAY 31.
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
You're watching Big Game Friday night.
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
All right, welcome back into Big Game Friday night, everyone.
Yeah, well, we got one more game that we want to show you. Let's give you a quick update on that Bob Jones game. The Patriots trail 35-14 in the fourth quarter looks like that one might be a little tough to overcome.
Yeah, it's tough, especially with having to move the game as well. Well, thanks for joining us, not only tonight, but all season. It's been an incredible night of high school football across North Alabama, but the fun is just getting started. Next week, of course, the playoffs continue.
Mike Nolan said a big thank you to everyone that's tuned in tonight and throughout the season. And of course, a big shout out to our radio sponsors for helping make this show possible.
So for all of our shooters, all of our producers, our editors, and everyone back in production, thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll see you guys here on WAAY 31 next week as well. And a big thank you to Antonio for giving us your time tonight and all season as well.
It's a shame, man. I was just starting to tolerate the both of you. No, I'm just kidding. It has been an honor. Thank you so much.
All right, well, that'll wrap it up for Big Game Friday night. We'll leave you the same way we always do with our Big Game Friday night Top Lights.
You've been watching a special presentation of WAAY 31 Sports.